Welcome back. While 2024 may not have been a great year in the US for coasters, I was able to pick up a few very exciting new credits. And so in today's video, we will be counting down my top 10 favorite roller coasters that I have been on. Keep in mind, I only have 55 credits. I've only been to maybe 7 amusement parks, and then also all of the Disney parks here in the US. So I don't have a ton of credits to choose from, but here are the 10 best in my opinion. Coming in at spot number 10, we have a very unique Intamin creation at Hershey Park, and this is Fahrenheit, which has a fantastic drop and some really fun and creative inversions and even some good airtime. And it's a really, really well-rounded ride that I am a pretty big fan of, and it's just good enough to land within the top 10. It does have a little bit of a shake, especially in the Cobra roll, but it's not horrible, and it certainly does not diminish from the ride in my opinion. So up next at number 9 is Great Bear at Hershey Park. This is one of 3 B&M inverts that I've ridden, and it's the only one in my top 10. I really like the creative layout, the way that they worked it around some of the other attractions like Super Duper Looper in the hollow, and the way they had to work with the supports that they couldn't put in the water. It's very, very interesting, makes for a really fun ride, and very forceful. The helix before the drop is actually pretty fun. And I think it's got a really great layout. It's probably not the best B&M invert, but it is the best one, in my opinion, that I have ridden. Coming in at number 8, we have Nitro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is my second hypercoaster that I've ridden, and I definitely enjoy it a lot. It has a lot of airtime, but the airtime is not quite as strong as some of the newer hypers, and that's why it's a little bit lower on the list than the next one that you'll see. However, it still is a fantastic layout through the woods, a lot of airtime, really intense helix, and I really enjoy the ride, and it is just fantastic. Lots of great airtime, lots of quantity, maybe not the best quality, but overall a long, satisfying, fantastic ride. Could do with a repaint as well, but overall, great ride, and probably now one of the best at Great Adventure. Coming in at number 7 is Candemonium at Hershey Park. This is a fantastic B&M hyper, and it is my favorite that I've personally ridden. It is a newer one since it was built in 2020, and it has a lot of really strong airtime. Not as many hills as Nitro, but the airtime is a lot stronger, and I really appreciate that. It's a very beautiful coaster to look at, the way it wraps around the fountain. I really appreciate what they did with the helix and then the little outer bank thing. That's very fun, and I really like that part. So overall, the only thing I would say is that it's a little bit short, and if it was a little bit of a longer ride, it might place even higher if it had a few more hills, but it's just pure quality and really a fantastic ride to boost Hershey Park's already amazing roller coaster collection. Coming in at number 6, we have Jersey Devil at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is a really great Raptor. I love the mix of elements and forces. You have great airtime on the different camelbacks and really good hang time on the stall and also the 0G roll. It's not the whippiest, not the most intense, but it's very smooth and enjoyable ride. A little on the shorter side, but it's got a great first drop. Every single element really hits, and I really like the coaster overall, which is how it has landed itself here at number 6. We are now halfway through the list with number 5, the Great Storm Runner at Hershey Park. This is a fantastic intimate accelerator hydraulic launch coaster, which has a very, very punchy launch. I love the launch. It might not be the fastest, but it accelerates very quickly. And then after that, you have a fantastic top hat. All 3 of the inversions are excellent. I love the flying snake dive. It's a very short ride, but it doesn't feel too short. Those extra few elements really do add to the experience. So overall, this is a really, really, really good ride that I need to get on every single time that I go to Hershey Park.
Hold up.
Coming in at number 4 is King Ka, the world's tallest and fastest coaster at the time of recording. And unfortunately, it is now defunct. It is closed forever. But this was the last coaster I rode in 2024, and the 128-mile-an-hour launch is pure insanity, and the views on top of the 456-foot tall top hat were amazing. Unfortunately, this ride is no longer going to be available, but I am very grateful to have gotten a front row night ride during its closing weekend. Coming in at our number 3 spot is the highest ranked wooden coaster on this list, and I think the only wooden coaster, and that is Phoenix at Knoebels. Now, for those of you asking where El Toro is, El Toro was closed during my only visit to Great Adventures so far. I do plan on getting on it next year, and I'm sure it'll rank very highly, but for now, this is the best wooden coaster that I have ridden, and it is just a pure fun coaster, kind of the opposite of King Ka in terms of stats, because it is like 80 years old and less than 80 feet tall, but it has buzz bar restraints, which give you a ton of room for airtime, and it's basically just airtime hill after airtime hill after airtime hill, and then a few turns in between, and it's just fantastic airtime, pure fun. You're flying out of your seat. It's a great ride, and Knoebels does a wonderful job maintaining their wooden coasters and keeping them smooth, retracking portions every year or so, and it's just an incredible, very, very fun, and just all around great ride. Next up is the awesome Sky Rush at Hershey Park. First, you exit the station and you have that cable lift that pulls you up 200 feet so quickly, it almost feels like a launch, which is just crazy. And the new restraints, they're very comfortable. The airtime is still good, so I won't complain. The ride has fantastic airtime, just all throughout, all kinds of different hills. The drop itself gives 2 different bursts of airtime. It's incredible. Probably my favorite first drop of all time. And it's very intense, a little bit rough, a little bit shaky, but it's not bad, not unbearable. Awesome laterals. It's just an incredibly intense experience. I understand why some people don't like it, and I understand why some people really, really like it. And I am a pretty big fan of Sky Rush. Coming in at my number 1 spot is Wildcat's Revenge at Hershey Park, an amazing RMC hybrid coaster, the conversion of the former GCI Wildcat, and they did an amazing job. I love this ride. There's so much variety between the incredibly strong ejector airtime, the laterals, a little bit of hang time on the stall, but the very whippy 0G rolls, the wave turns are amazing. That double down that introduces that sharp jolt of laterals on top of all the negatives you're already getting is amazing. It's a fairly long ride, and for an RMC, it's not one of the tallest. It's definitely mid-sized, but I would say it's top tier in terms of quality. And I know a lot of people that agree and some people that don't, but personally, this is my current favorite roller coaster that I have been lucky enough to ride. So, let me know if you have any favorites that you have ridden. So, in 2025, I do plan on getting to Busch Gardens, Tampa, and also possibly back to Great Adventure. So there is still a few more rides to be, going on at Great Adventure, specifically Toro, of course. Very excited for that one. And then, obviously, at Busch Gardens, there is Iron Gwazi, Montu, Kumba. Those all have the potential to maybe make this list. Definitely Iron Gwazi will definitely be on this list. And we'll see about the others. So it should be a very fantastic trip. I have actually been on Cheetah Hunt before, and that barely missed the list. That was probably 11. But it'll be good to get a reride on that because I haven't been on it since 2019. Kind of see how that'll fit in. Very excited. El Toro and Iron Gwazi are going to be some very, very good rides to look forward to in 2025. So, thank you for watching, and have a great new year.